sorry. That's all I can say, because I do want to do part 2s to videos. But more ideas just keep coming into my head before I can even think of doing part 2. So, anyway, I'm sorry. So, here is what if Deku was in the military? Yeah. And this is Smoke from Rainbow Six Siege. I do not own Rainbow Six Siege or this photo, so just in case, but yeah. So, let's start the what if. But yeah, so, Deku's born, he has a normal life. He has green hair, whatever. Pretty much normal Deku. Yeah, so, his dad is a soldier in the British Army, because, yeah. But yeah, so, he and I'm gonna say there's some sort of ongoing war in Russia, or whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. But yeah, so, Azuki lives a normal life, and his dad comes home every, I don't know, every 9 months. He spends three months with his wife and child. But yeah, so that's pretty much how Azuku's life goes for quite a while. But yeah, so we do a little time skip. He's 4. And this is a few weeks after Baku activated his Quirk, because he activated it quite early. But yeah, so, everyone's just playing around, and then Azuku's skin starts secreting a yellow gas, kind of like what's in the photo, except it's not toxic or whatever. Yeah, it pretty much just knocks you out, and if exposed for a long time, it will cause a little bit of harm. But yeah, so, that's filling the class, the teacher's like, hey, what's happening? What's happening here? Quickly get outside. All the students rush out, and but Azuka's perfectly fine, he's not coughing, nothing's wrong with him. Yeah, so he's panicking though, because it's coming off him, he doesn't know what to do. And they close the door, and Azuka's still in there because he was panicking too much. But yeah, so the teacher's called a hero, or the cops or whatever. They arrive, and this is a good hero, not one of those rich heroes or whatever. So they advise him to probably bring a gas mask with him, because it was a yellow gas. They weren't sure if it was lethal. But yeah, so they put on one on, it's not anything fancy, but yeah. So they break down they open up the door, quickly shut it behind them, running in. They see the boy. He's kind of crying a little bit, what's happening? What's happening? I don't want to do this. He cry, he upset. But yeah, so the hero's calm down, kid. I think your Quirk activated. Just calm down. He's he looks over and he's who are you? I'm a hero. No, you don't need to worry. It's safe now. Just calm down, kid. You calm down. He's okay. And it kind of stops coming off his skin, but it's still in the air. So he has to open up a window or something. It eventually starts coming out. It starts getting thinner, but it's not fully out yet. But eventually, once it does, Izuku gets out of the building. Inko had been called, saying your son might have activated this Quirk, but it's kind of it's a bad situation. But yeah, so as soon as she sees him, she runs up to him and says, "Oh, Izuku, are you okay? Are you okay?" He says "Yes, Mom, I'm fine." She says, "But they said they activated your Quirk. How about we go check that out?" He's "Really? Check out my Quirk? That's gonna be so fun." But yeah, so he had they go to the Quirk doctor, and after a few tests, the Quirk doctor comes back kind of like a surprised but happy look. He's like, huh, wow. Ma'am, your son seems to have a very strong quirk, actually. She's like, what is it? Well, he has the ability to create gas, smokes, and different types of steams. She's like, what, really? Yeah, it may not seem that powerful, but it could be used. It can be used to calm down any type of villains. Stop threats to other people. It can be quite useful for a hero. She says, yeah, that is okay. You can become a good hero. Izuku says, I don't want to be a hero. I want to be like Dad. And she says, oh, that's nice. But yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much how he activated his quirk. But over the years, this I'm gonna say he's 12 or something. His dad hadn't come home when he said he would, and they had a week or two later, after he should have arrived, they hear a knock at the door. It's a man in a green general suit with a green cap in front, holding his green cap. He says, I'm sorry, man, but your husband has passed away in battle. And she drops to her knees crying, she's crying, and Azuki comes rushing out. He says, what's wrong? The man walks in, tells Azuki to sit down. He sits down a one-seater chair or whatever, and says, what is your name? He says, my name's Azuki. He says, well, Azuki, your father fought bravely in the fight, but unfortunately he had been too severely injured by enemy fire and passed away. Azuki's like, huh? Dad's gone? He says, yes, I'm sorry. But he wanted you to have this. He just gives him a little thing that Hasashi always carried with him. There was a little photo of Inko and him. Inko and Izuku. And he says, thank you for listening. And he walks out and closes the door behind him. Inko is crying. Izuku walks over to his mum and hugs her. He says, Mom, what's gonna happen? She says, I don't know. But yeah, so, Izuku's dad dead. Kind of sad. Oh well. But yeah, so. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this a little bit different to my other what ifs. Their school is gonna start at 16. And they're gonna do 3 years of schooling. They're gonna graduate at 19, and after that they're gonna do an extra 2 years of hero course training at a UA higher school or whatever, a secondary UA or whatever. Yeah. So we do a time skip, and Azuku still wants to become a soldier, and he has learned through history lessons or whatever what the horrors of war can be or whatever. But he still wants to do it. He has become quite proficient in English, and he can speak clear English. He has become quite smart. His quirk pretty much forcing him to be smart in maths and chemistry. He knows how to create most gases. He knows how to create steam and quite a few smokes, different types of smokes. But yeah. So this is the end of kind of middle school, kind of whatever. But so the teacher walks in saying okay, everyone, please fill out these forms to see what you want to be in the future. And everyone groans oh, not this shit. But yeah, so he's just kidding, I all know you want to be heroes. like he's looking through the papers, like, oh wow, it looks like we have one person applying to UA. He says, oh, Bakugo Katsuki, very nice. And like Bakugo and Izuku aren't really friends. They just kind of avoid each other. But yeah. So, and like he says, oh, wow, this is interesting. He says, Izuku, you wanna join the army? Everyone looks at him. He says, yeah, I do. She says, well, I hope you do well. He says, thanks. And like after class, like Izuku's packing up his stuff. Bako walks up to his desk and says, hey, nerd, if you fail the army, don't you dare join UA, otherwise I'm gonna kill you. Like Izuku says, yeah, whatever, Bakugo. But yeah, so like after for a few weeks, like Izuku practices, like he's getting all of his stuff packed and like just refreshing on some things that he would probably need to know. But yeah, so like this is like a like Izuku wakes up and he walks downstairs. His mom says, are you ready for it? Have you got everything packed? Yes, Mom. Like like she says, I made you breakfast. She says, oh, thanks. And he eats his breakfast. He gets ready for the day, whatever. Brush your teeth, get clothes on, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so and like he says, okay, well, I guess it's time to go. I'll drive you to the airport. And he says like, thanks, Mom. He grabs his stuff. They get in the car and they drive to the airport. And he is going to fly to Britain because I want him to be a part of the SAS, the Covert British Army thing. But yeah. So, like once they arrive, like she says, I'm gonna miss you, Izuku. He says, don't worry, Mom, I'll come back. I'll come back like Dad did every 9 months. She says, I hope you do. But yeah, so Izuku, he walks in, he gets everything done. He gets on the plane, he flies to Britain. That just sounds weird for me to say. Britain. But yeah, anyway, so so like he gets there eventually, and like a few days pass and he arrives at the new area where you would sign up. Like he puts down his name or place of birth, like family members, whatever, everything you can do. Because I'm pretty sure you can sign up to the military at 16. Or is it 18? I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna say if it's 6. I'm gonna just say in this world it is 16, but yeah. But yeah, so like, and I'm gonna just say this war hasn't like gone of like years and years, but like kind of like World War One, World War Two. It's just been kind of spread apart like a few years, but yeah. Yeah, so like he gets told to come back within like another 2 days or whatever, and like the 2 days happen, and he arrives and like they do like physical tests, mental tests. Izuku, like he comes somewhere like top, like he's in the top middle, I guess, like high ranking middle of the physical capabilities. So like he's kind of average, but like in mental, like he comes like top, like he's in the top 10 or whatever. Like he could become a good tactician. But yeah, so he gets accepted into the military, and like he's excited. Like he gets told to report to this area at this time and be in your uniform. Yeah, so like he gets in his uniform, and like next day he gets to the area, and they're pretty much doing like drills, like workouts or whatever. Like runs, push-ups, like obstacle courses, whatever. They're doing that for the whole day. For the next few months, he does that. Like the 10 months that they would be like the students would be training, he is working out or whatever. And he has gotten very physically fit. But yeah, so like, and at this point, I'm going to say the war starts again. Like it had ended like when Nezu was 12, like 4. But yeah, so like Nezu's sent to the front lines. And he is pretty good. Like he's not the best, but yeah, he's like equipped with like, a assault rifle and a pistol for a sidearm. Pretty much the loadout for a normal soldier. Yeah, he is quite proficient. Like on his first like 3 weeks, he had killed about 10 people. Like and only gotten minor injuries such as like grazes from grazes from bullets. But yeah, so and like for the next 4 years, like this has continued. Like Nezu has proven himself quite useful. Like in many different times, he has saved many different lives with his strategic thinking. Like saving, like also killing quite a few enemies. Like over the 4 years, he has racked up a total of like I'm gonna say like 80 kills. But yeah, the math might not work out. Like I said, in 3 weeks, like he got 10 kills. Yeah, I'm gonna just change that. Like he got like 3 like kills in like his first 2 months or whatever. But yeah, so he has racked up a number of 80 kills. Like it's somewhat high, but not that high. And like every year they hold like applications for their covert operations test. Like this year, like Nezu's like for the past 2 years, Nezu's friends have been telling him to, go on, join it. You're the best out of all of us. He's declined like the first time, but like this time he thinks that maybe he should try out. Like the worst that could happen is that he gets declined, but he just does what he normally does. But yeah. So like he fills out the application to join, and like the next day, like he arrives at the special testing area. There's about like 15 other people there. 3 will soon be his squad members, but yeah. So they get briefed on what they will be doing. They'll have to survive a 54-hour test with no food or water supplied or any basic needs. They'll need to survive in groups of 4. But yeah, so and if you don't know, like to actually join some special operations, you need to have a good sense of humor. Like some people have actually been turned down because they didn't have a sense of humor, or a good one anyway. But yeah, so like he does the test, and like he made like 2 friends out of the 4 people he was with. Like their name was Marcus and Carol. Marcus had a regeneration quirk, and Carol had like a healing quirk. They made jokes along the way. They were using teamwork. They would help each other out, but yeah, like, and the other one just kind of didn't really care. He was just trying to do it because like his physical abilities, he was quite strong or whatever. But yeah, so I need to drink some water. Meh. But yeah, so like after like the 54 hours Nezu had passed, like he had been brought back, and like after they'd been given a week to recuperate, like get back their physical abilities, get rehydrated, get food back into their stomachs. But yeah, and out of a total of like 15, only 4 passed. But yeah, so these members' names are Nezu Midoriya, Carol, because I couldn't be bothered to give him a last name, Marcus, and a girl named Nicole. Yeah, they all had unique qualities that could be useful. Azuki being a good tactician and frontline soldier, Carol being a good medic, Marcus being a good support, like machinery or whatever, and Nicole being a good recon specialist, sniping. But yeah, so they had been told to come into this room at this time. But yeah, so they arrive and they all start talking to each other, cracking a few jokes, just kind of saying oh yeah, you were with me at the test, oh yeah, that was fun. But yeah, they're just kind of introducing themselves a little bit more, saying where they're from, why they joined, whatever. But yeah, so then the commanding officer or general, whatever, arrives and says, you may be seated. And they all sit down. They say, congratulations on passing the Covert operations test. You will now be placed in a squad of 4. Azuka Midoriya, captain. You will be the captain of this squad, being the most physically capable and most tactical out of everyone here. Carol, you'll be medic of the squad, considering your healing quirk. You can be quite useful on the front lines. Marcus, although you weren't as smart, as tactical as the other 3, you made up for it with your physical capabilities and personality. And Nicole, you had very good skills and worked well with others. Congratulations. You'll be on this team. But yeah, so they've been given a month to train their skills, choose preferred weapons that they would like to use during this time. Azuku has been decided to use a shotgun and a pistol, considering he can use his quirk to create diversions and then come up from close range and kill someone. It has a 8 rounds capacity with a suppressor, no sights, and yeah. And he also has a sidearm, 9mm pistol, quite useful at close range, good at close to medium range. But yeah, so, and Izuku's uniform will be this, what's in the picture, grey suit with gas. Sometimes I don't know how to say, is it gas or gas? I think it's gas mask. But yeah, so, and the other people's uniforms will kind of be like this, except like Carol's and Marcus's will have a slightly less heavy duty gas mask due to them not actually might not be that close to it, and Nicole's pretty much being a very very a very kind of low duty one, considering that she won't be fighting in the front lines, more or less reconnaissance. But yeah, so they have been trained, they're training, getting used to their uniforms, being trained in different situations, hostage to just simple finding out intel. But yeah, so at this point, Izuku is 20. Everyone else in UA has balls. Okay, for the first year, for the first bit of UA, they will have 4 years, and then the extra 2 after that. But yeah, so actually, you know what? It's 4 years and 1 year after that. Yeah, that sounds better. So they'll graduate the first one at 20, and a year after that, this is pretty much just for the hero course. But yeah, so at this point, Izuku's 20. But yeah, so Never mind. So it's 4 years for the first part anyway, and 2 years, 3 years. Oh, fuck me. I had thought for this for a long time. I thought I got it right. Man. Okay, yeah, never mind. So this will be it. Sorry if it's been confusing, but like, so after they graduate from middle school, they would spend 2 years in, a normal high school, and after 2 years, they had a chance to continue with that, or apply for another school, and they would spend 3 years doing that. So doing that, and then doing the first bit of UA, then 2 years after that doing the second bit. Yeah, sorry if that was confusing, but yeah, so yeah, sorry. Yeah, so after a month of training and getting used to their skills, each other, like, they have all become quite good friends. Yeah, so they've been issued their first mission. They are to invade an enemy munitions depot. They are to be dropped off at this date, and once they have completed their mission, they will arrive at a safe point and wait there for at least 2 weeks. Well, a week to be picked up after the signal. But yeah, so they get para-dropped deep into enemy lines where the munitions depot is, and they spend like the next 3 to 4 days scouting out the area, like checking like guards' positions, like how it rotates through and everything, making sure like not to skip any details at all. But yeah, so, and after 3 to 4 days, they are confident with their knowledge of the guards' rotations. What happens, like, once a week, a big train will stop and to collect munitions and deliver them to the front lines. So they will strike after this train has left, leaving most of their resources gone, and some of their troops might be gone due to being picked up. But so during the middle of night, they will, like, Zuko, Marcus, and Carol will enter the building with Nicole, taking out, just simply focusing on the outside areas, making sure no unexpected things might happen. So they sneak in, they break down the door as quietly as they could, try not to alert anyone. They're walking through, and if they have to, they will have to kill someone, but they try not to, being as quiet as possible. Setting up C4 provided, on vital points in 3 buildings, setting at least 4 in every building, and killing a total of 10 people that night. Oh yeah, I didn't describe their loadout. So Marcus has an LMG with a suppressor on it as well, with a 9mm pistol. Carol has a SMG with a 3-round shotgun for close range, kind of a sawed-off shotgun kind of looking thing. And Nicole has a high-powered marksman rifle with a suppressor and long-range scope, capable of penetrating steel, 45 caliber rounds. But yeah, and SMG for a sidearm. Yeah, so that's their loadouts. So, and they have completed, and they run back, and, as soon as they get to a safe distance, they blow the charges, destroying all 3 buildings and killing most of the personnel there, leaving only about 5 survivors out of the, let's say, 50 there. But yeah, so over the next 1.5 years, kind of 2 years. Like, they have completed, like, over at least 20 missions, being successful within all. And, like, Izuku has earned, like, they have all earned code names or whatever. Izuku's being Jokr, like, Joker, because, you know, he pretty much makes quite a few jokes during their missions, you know, to break the tension. Like, I don't know, they would just have random ass names. Like, the only other one I thought about was for Nicole, because, you know, that's the shit. But yeah, you know, I might as well just show you a picture that is what she'll look like. But yeah, so whatever, I don't care. Sorry, sometimes I just laugh for no reason. But yeah, so, and hers name was like Eagle Eye or whatever. But yeah, so, because she had like most accurate kills from longest distance. And the other two's names don't matter for a certain reason that will come up now. So they had been issued like a mission to attack you know, the leading person, like the main personnel that's fighting this war on the other side. They had been issued a mission to take out this person. Like, I'm gonna say he's like an important general or whatever. So they had been para-dropped into enemy lines. If you don't know what that means, it's when you are dropped from a plane with a parachute, and you drop down, and yeah. And they have to survive on minimal supplies, such as with no food or water, pretty much using surroundings to get these supplies. But yeah, so they scoop out this area for at least a whole week, not wanting to get any mistakes done, because this is a vital mission. If they do this, they could help the war effort very, very, very greatly. But yeah, so they scoped out the area for a whole week, making sure to get everything down right, not getting any mistakes, counting every single troop, like writing down every single name badge that they could find, like from a long distance with high-powered binoculars or Nicole's gun. But yeah, so and you know but yeah, so and like now that they've figured out everything, they strike. You know, Izuku, Marcus, and Carol, they enter the building. Only they have found out where most of the guards are positioned, only shooting people if necessary, and doing it very quietly, not even letting the bullet casing hitting the floor to make any noise. Yeah, but this is where it all goes to shit. Yeah, so, like, while they're walking through, like, they're being extra quiet. And, like, where they thought no one would be, they see two people. Like, they weren't ready, so they weren't being any sneaky. Like, they were being sneaky, but, like, not as sneaky as they would be. So, they're, like, and, like, these two people see them, like, and as soon as they see them, they instantly radio to, like, everyone, like, three intruders in base, and like before they can finish the sentence they get shot. But like the big alarms going off, like, ooh, yeah, no, I ain't gonna do that. I'm good with voices, not sound effects. But yeah, so like big kind of air raid sirens go on. But yeah, so and this is also when like a big kind of truck arrives. It's actually full of like 20 like extra soldiers, and like this was not accounted for. Like Nicole sees this, she radios and saying like, guys, we may have a problem, I want to leave now. Like 20 more soldiers have entered the building. And like as they radio and they say, we're surrounded, they had extra personnel on hand, we weren't prepared for this. And like this is Carol, and like she's saying we weren't prepared. Like they hear a gunshot and like it goes through her head, she dead. And she's like, no, like Nicole, she's hearing all this like stuff from their radios, and like what had happened, like, Carol had been shot in the head, and, like, Izuku had been shot in, like, the arms and legs and chest a few times, but nothing fatal, but it put him to the ground. And although Marcus had been shot, his regeneration quirk had been healing him most of this time, like, but he's using up a lot of his stamina. And, like, he had killed a total of, like, 10 people before, like, they had actually dropped him to the ground. You know, they had been dragged to a room that they have kept, and, like, oh, while this is happening, Nicole requested backup. Like, she had sent a message saying, like, headquarters, we need backup. They say, who is this from? Nicole, whatever, code name, Eagle Eyes, code 223 AB 71. Okay, hello, Nicole, like, where are you positioned and what? Discuss the situation. We are positioned in Moscow, Russia. And 3 squad members either KIA or captured. Requesting immediate backup. You know, they say, like, backup granted, they will be there within 2 to 3 days. If squad members haven't survived, please, if anything happens, please report back to headquarters. He says, yep, okay, good. Yeah, so during these 2 to 3 days that, you know, these, like, other soldiers have been issued to help, Izuku and Marcus have been tortured. Like, they haven't even taken off the masks off them. Like, Izuku had been, like, punched in the glass eye, like, like, it had shattered, like, leaving him a few scars on his face, like, one to the side of his eye, like his right eye, one underneath his left eye, and one on his chin, like, one on his mouth. But, like, nothing that wouldn't be, like, too weird. But yeah. But he had also been punched, stabbed, cut in many different locations, like, trying to get information out, like, how they find this place, like, who are you, like, who sent you, like, all that kind of stuff. But Marcus had been treated much worse, because they saw that he had a regeneration quirk, but he wasn't immune to pain. They saw him, like, kind of flinch every time he got shot. But yeah, so they'd be cutting off fingers, toes, like, legs, body parts that pretty much wouldn't kill him, gouging out his eyes, ripping out teeth, and, like, it was horrible. Like, by, like, guts were on the wall, like, half of his face was, like, plastered on the wall, like, blood everywhere, like, but he looked perfectly fine, like, except for a bit of blood on him, because, like, his regeneration quirk healed him. But, like, Izuku this whole time just was, like, horrified, like, shocked. He couldn't speak, he couldn't move, he was just kind of traumatized. Because, like, he saw people getting killed, but, like, he knew that what he was doing, but, like, these people were, like, taking it to a new level. Like, this should not have happened to a human being. Like, this was not something someone should have to endure. But yeah, so, and, like, this is when, like, eventually the 10 soldiers arrived, you know, highly trained, whatever, and, like, they stormed the building, like, Nicole rushing with an SMG, leaving her marksman rifle behind, as it would just be extra weight, and, like, then she sees, like, the dead boys, and then, you know, she sees Carol, like, shot straight through the head. You know, she rushes over to the body, like, kind of crying, like, she's like, damn it, why did this have to happen? And, like, she's kind of, like, shaking the body, saying, like, just get up. You know, one of the soldiers pulls away, saying, you're just disgracing a corpse, just leave her. She's like, yeah. And, like, they had been radioed in, like, people have stormed the building, like, get everyone out of here. And, like, as soon as they heard this, they shot Marcus in the head with, like, a pistol. Before they could shoot Izuku in the head, like, the soldiers burst into the room, saying, like, put your hands up, put the gun on the ground. Like, the guy put the gun on the ground, and, like, everyone there was just horrified, like, disgusted. blood everywhere, guts on the ground, teeth, just every single body part imaginable, just like on the ground, bones. It was just, everyone there kind of had to go through therapy afterwards, but like, and like Zuko was kind of chained to a wall, like, but he was on his knees. You know, as soon as they took the chains off, like, he just kind of flopped to the ground. And like, he like grabbed his, like, put his hands over his face and, you know, kind of got into the fetal position. And it kind of just like, you know, they could kind of hear like quiet, like, sobs. And like, and people tried to touch him, but like, he would just like kind of yell like, "Don't touch me!" And like, they would kind of like say like, "Okay, this guy needs medical attention now." Like, they call him like, and at this point more people have gotten here now, like medics, choppers, whatever. Like, and the main person that was asked to, like, that was the main target had been executed at this point. But yeah, so they get Zuko there treating any serious wounds such as stabs or cuts from glass in his eye, from the eyepieces being treated at like, as like in the helicopters or whatever. But yeah, so he gets transported back, and like, he has to go through like a few operations, getting bits of glass removed from his face, getting metal like pulled out of his skin. But like, he'll be left with a few scars all over his body, but nothing like too weird. But yeah, so and like, so after a while he has gone through a bit of therapy. Like, he's gotten most of his sanity back. Like, he is somewhat normal now, but it kind of haunts him. Like, he gets terrors in the night or whatever. But yeah, so, and after like a week's, like, actually, like, this will take more than a few weeks, but like, after a few months, like, this is near the end of the year, like the last year of UA for like the first bit. And if the math doesn't add up, I don't care. At this point, I just kind of want the story to kind of match, like, click together like a Lego piece, but I doubt it will at this point. But yeah, so like, after a while, Zuko's like, yeah, I can't do this anymore, this is just too much. Like, and he's walking to the commanding general's office, and like, he knocks on the door, and they say come in. And, you know, like, he sees, you know, Nicole there, like, just sitting, and like, he says, "What are you doing here?" She says, the guy says, "Please sit." You know, he just says, "Well, Miss Nicole here was saying that she wants to quit the force, just leave in general. But I'm glad that you're here, Captain Zuko. Please convince her that this is probably that she shouldn't leave." And Zuko kind of just looks down, and like, looking at his hands, kind of shaking a little bit, saying like, I'm here for the same reason, actually. I can't do this anymore. What I saw was just too much. And the guy's like, "Oh, damn it. Well, your squad was quite successful in all the missions that they were issued. In total, you racked up a amount of kills of at least over 200. You helped us quite a lot, actually. So I guess you have served your duties. Please, if the way I could let you go is if you give me your medical forms saying that you are not fit to be in the army anymore, and fill out these forms describing why. And hand these to me by Monday, and you should be able to leave within a week." And he says, "Thank you, sir." But yeah, so like they fill out the forms and stuff. They hand it back to the general or whatever, and they like after like when they're walking out of the office, like he says like, "So where are you gonna go after this?" And she says like, "Oh, I really don't have anywhere to go. My mum and dad had passed away." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." She says, "No, it's fine. I didn't tell you, and no one ever really brought up that stuff." And she says like, "Well, where will you be going?" He says, "Oh, I'll probably just be going back home." She says, "Where's that?" "Oh, I come from Japan, but my dad was British, so that's why I enlisted here. He had told me great stories of what he had done. He left out the gory parts, but he told me about the great stories of him capturing tens of soldiers at a time, liberating cities from Russian control." But yeah, and also something like that I forgot to mention. Like over the years, they had learnt different languages. Like they all know fluent English, Russian, German, and Japanese because convenience. But yeah. So Nezu says, "Well, I got an idea. Why don't you come with me since you have nowhere else to go? Why not be with a friend and a bunch of strangers?" She says, Zuku's thinking in his head like, "Wait, did I just say that out loud? Oh god, oh god, oh god. Didn't mean to say that. And she kind of just chuckles and says, "Yeah, sure. Better to be with a friend than a bunch of random people." So kind of like, "Oh shit, it actually worked. Oh damn." He says, "Yeah, oh okay. My mum would quite like you. She's a very nice person." And she says, "Well, I look forward to meeting her." So after a while, they fill out the forms, whatever. They hand it back, and they leave, and they get on a plane to Japan. And when they arrive, Inko's waiting there. She runs up and hugs Izuku, because she hadn't been able to see him for the past 2 years because, he might have revealed top secret information, whatever. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna just say they were allowed to take their uniforms and their weapons with them. But yeah, so Inko hugs Izuku, saying "Oh, my baby's back." He says, "Oh, thanks, Mom." She looks at Nicole, saying, "You must be Nicole." She says, "Yes, I am." And she hugs Inko. But yeah, so they arrive at home and she said, Inko says, "Okay, I'm assuming you'll be staying in separate rooms." Kind of a little grin. Izuku just looks at his mom like, "Mom, why?" He says, "Yes, we'll be staying in separate rooms, Mom." But yeah, so Izuku goes back to his old room. She stays in the guest room, and Inko stays in her room. But yeah, so the next day, they all get up, they're having breakfast, and Inko asks, "So, what do you two plan on doing?" He says, "I guess I could give that hero thing a try. It did always seem quite fun." And Nicole says, "Yeah, I did see quite a bit of them on the TV when I was younger. All those heroes with all the glory and fame. I don't quite like the glory and fame part, but all the other bits was quite fun." Suga says, "Yeah, that'd be quite good." Inka's "Huh, so you're gonna go to UA?" Suga says, "Well, why not? I'll just apply, but I'm not sure if they'll take anyone this late in the year." like, at this point, it's going to be about the hero. They're going to join the heroes vs villains, and I've got a fun little plan for that. But yeah, so like the next day, like they just call the school up and say, well, can we join the hero course for for 5th years or whatever? And I say, well, I guess we could schedule an appointment with our principal, but we're not too sure. And he says, oh, okay, thank you. You know, over the next week or whatever, like, they get a call from Principal Nezu saying, can you please meet me here at this time? And yeah, so they arrive in the UA grounds, and I'm gonna just say Azuka kind of looks like this, but yeah, that's because that's the only photo I could find that wouldn't make Azuka look like a little child, but yes, and that's my only reason. But yeah, so, and like, when they pop in, they see like Nezu, and they're kind of just like shocked, like, talking rat dog raccoon looking thing. Nezu kind of laughs like, yes, I know my appearance is quite shocking to other people, but I assure you, I am just as smart as you guys. And they say, oh, yes, that's quite fine. He says, please sit. And they sit down, and he says like, so Azuka Midori and Natalie blank, because I can't think of it last name. Wait, Nicole. Yeah, shit. I got that from another What If. Sorry. Yeah. I watched it. Yes, so Nicole blank. You two are former soldiers from the British Army, SAS operatives, and both with over 100 kills. Wow, that's quite interesting. Why did you decide to apply here? You seem to have quite a lot of skills. You could apply to anywhere and quite get the job. Says, and like, Azuka-san is saying, well, after an experience in my squad, I decided that I didn't want to be a part of the army anymore, and being a hero was something I saw on the TV a lot as a child. So I thought it might be fun to give it a shot. And this says, that's quite good. And you? She says, oh, I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore, just for the same reason. But the hero thing sounded quite fun as well. And they say, well, I can tell from your previous experiences that you're going to be quite good heroes. They say, what, really? Must be good heroes? So, well, yes, a hero has to have a good heart, saving people without needing glory. And you two already did that for a job, saving thousands of people by having to eliminate a few people. It was for a noble cause. They say, oh, I guess you could call it that. But yeah, and he says, well, normally I don't accept applications this late into the year, but you can join at a special event called The Heroes vs. Villains. I have an idea that you two can be quite useful for. And it's like, okay then. But yeah, so, like, the next 2 days, it's the Heroes vs. Villains, like, everyone in the class is like, do we have to do this every year? Aizawa was kind of grunting, like, whatever, kids, just shut up and listen. And All Might's also there, like, nothing from the original UA has happened except for the sports festival and training camp in USJ, but that will all happen again. It's kind of like readers for every year. But yeah, so as I was just there and says, okay, well, just shut up. This Heroes vs. Villains will be a little bit different from your previous experiences. You'll be having 2 members join us today to help you with this. Please welcome, Azuka walks out in, full uniform with the gas mask on, because, he doesn't want Bakugo to get pissed at him, because he kind of remembers like what Bako said. You know, like she walks out without wearing her uniform, like well, with her uniform without the gas mask. And, you know, like he says like, recon specialist Nicole blank, and as soon as he's about to say like Captain, like, is it, you know, and like Zuko kind of just taps him on the shoulder and whispers in his ear, and he says, as I was says, okay, Captain Joker. And like Azuku is a pretty big dude, I guess. Like he's 6'4" and, you know, quite muscular, whatever. So, you know, like he's kind of like he's quite intimidating as well, because he's holding a shotgun, like has a pistol to his side. And, you know, this one like Mineta, because he's still there somehow, puts up his hand and says, Teach, what's with the guys and the guns? And he says, well, these guys and the guns will be joining our class as of today, but they are former military specialists, serving in the front lines for at least 4 years, and in the covert operation of the SAS for at least 2. But today they'll be helping us with training for a hostage situation. These 2 people will be the villains, and you guys will be the heroes. You know, Ida puts up his hand saying, by us guys, do you mean groups of 2 again? As I says, no, everyone will be facing them. Everyone just kind of gets like confused, saying like, wait, won't that be too easy? You know, Bako like says like, I'm going to beat these guys up so easily, make the military look pathetic. You know, then like Azuka kind of like clicks the shotgun back. You know, Shell ejects him, and like then he just kind of turns around, and like then like he just kind of clicks the shell. Sorry, and like then everyone kind of shuts up. And, you know, Mineta also puts up his hand again and says, are those real guns? And Asawa says, yes, but they won't hurt you. They're filled with rubber bullets. But Captain Joker here has a ability that if you do piss him off, it will hurt. And Asawa says, please demonstrate. And, you know, like he aims at a side of a building, and like he like pulls the trigger, and like the gas produced like from the thing exploding, like he amplifies this by like 100 or whatever, and like it hits the wall and like pretty much goes like through 2 layers, like each rubber pellet. And, you know, like everyone just kind of gets like, you know, shits their pants. But yeah, so but then like Azuku kind of just points the gun at Mineta and shoots it again, like it pretty much just bounces off him. You know, Iso says, see, the rules are if you get shot in the head, you're out, or if you get shot in the body, you can stay in as long as you can stand up. But yeah, so like they like Nicole puts on her mask, and like they walk into the building, and like her, oh shit, I never described her quirk, did I? Her quirk is pretty much being like silent. Like she can hold her breath for long times. She has enhanced vision, like, you know, kind of Sharingan vision. Like everything kind of slows down, but like not to like the Sharingan's degree, but like she also, her footsteps will be quiet. Like pretty much any noise she might make will be quieted. But yeah, so like the hostage is pretty much just like a doll or whatever. But yeah, so they leave it in a room, they fortify everywhere, like putting in like wooden barricades on doors and stuff. But yeah, so then the class starts walking in like after a minute, like 2 minutes, because they need a long time to set up because of how many people. Like as soon as they open up the door, like they can hear nothing, like no single footstep, no muttering of any words. But yeah, so yeah, so in the viewing area is Nezu, All Might, and Aizawa, and the person who got 1 for all, I'm gonna say it was like Kirishima, because you know Kirishima, he cool. But yeah, so like everyone's walking through, like they split up into groups of 4, like one person, like 2 groups having 4 and 2 groups having 5, because like there was 19 people and that was the best way I could do the math without really thinking about it. Yeah, that's kind of whatever. Actually, no, 2 groups have 4. No, 3 groups have 5 and 1 group has 4. But yeah. So, like, and Azuki will be pretty much on the 2nd floor, and like Nicole on the 3rd floor. Like, Azuki's the main defense, but yeah. So like, they hear nothing really, but like, they're just going up separate ways. And this is when like the first group reaches the 2nd floor. Like, there's kind of like a yellow fog everywhere. And I'm gonna say Momo was a part of this team because, yeah, like, and she creates like a mask for everyone. Like, nothing too good, but like it's effective. And while she's setting everything out, like, say Kaminari was like putting one on, and like then he gets shot in the head with a pistol. You know, like he kind of falls to the floor because it hurt a lot. Sorry, my throat just got a little bit sore. But yeah, so, and like then everyone gets on guard, and like then they kind of see like Azuki walking through a doorway into another one, kind of like hidden by his like all the gas around him. Then, you know, they get in defensive position. Like, this group of 4 contained Momo, Kaminari, Ida, and Suyu. Yeah, so like they're looking around, but they can only see like at least a meter in front of them, with then like little bits of light coming through the windows. You know, they're walking around, and like all this time, like they have been, like, Nicole and Azuki have been speaking through radio, like making jokes in like Russian and German, like sometimes in English. One way understands like some of the English ones, but like only Nezu understands like the Russian and German. And like sometimes Nezu laughs, and like All Might kind of gets like, ah. You know, like some of the jokes are like, oh, look how scared these guys are. And then kind of just laughing at with each other. And it's like, oh yeah, I just shot the yellowed head guy in the head. He fell to the floor because it hurt so much. But yeah, so oh god, I should probably end this soon before my throat starts bleeding. But yeah, so like they're walking through, like Ida, everyone's on guard, like, and like Ida's at the back because he'd probably be the strongest person to attack left. Momo's at the front, and you know, Suyu's around for like support. You know, like they're talking to each other, but just always making like audio contact or whatever, so they, just in case, they like keep saying their hero names or whatever, like Ingenium, like, well, like Ida, Creati, or Froppy. And like then eventually, like when Froppy says like Ida, like, or Tenya or whatever, he doesn't respond. She's like, huh? And she looks behind him and sees like Ida's not there. She's like, damn it. And then he looks to the other side and she sees Momo's not there. She's like, Ribbit, what happened? Then, you know, she gets shot in the knee with a rubber bullet, and like she falls to the ground. Then, you know, like she kind of just sees this walking towards her, and she's like, Ribbit. You know, Azuki pulls out like a little pistol, you know, shoots her in the head, like getting rid of her. pretty much, like, after they've been shot, they just pretty much walk out the building. But, like, somehow, like, some of the groups have gone past, like, the second floor, not encountering Izuku. Like, when they get to the third floor, like, there's no gas or anything up there. But, like, this is a group of 5 consisting of, like, Kirishima, Bakugo, Mineta, Invisible Girl, and Shoji. So, like, Shoji's, like, using his ears and eyes to, like, look for people, but, like, he can't really see anything. And, like, she saw this as, like, Nicole saw this as a problem. So, no, she, like, used a sniper to, like, eliminate Shoji as soon as possible. Then, like, everyone got on guard. Like, Bakugo's making explosions in his hand, like, "Come out, you wuss, fight me." And, like, then, like, he looks to his right, like, Kirishima's gone, like, taken out by, like, a fake knife, like, to the throat. Then, like, he's walking back. Now, like, when everyone's waiting outside, they see, like, people walking out, like, 2 people at a time or something. Like, not a single one of them, like, Nicole or Izuku. And, like, Bakugo's like, "Face me, you cowards." And then, like, he gets shot in the chest by, like, a high-powered rubber bullet, and, like, it hurts a lot. It's gonna leave, like, a big bruise. He's holding it, like, son of a bitch, who did that? He gets shot in the back of the head. And, like, now Bakugo's mad, like, who the hell did that? At this point, he doesn't really care about the rules anymore. He just wants to kill that bastard that did it. But yeah, so, he's looking around, kind of, like, foaming from the mouth, like, who the hell did this? Then, he gets kicked in the side by Nicole. And, like, sent to the side. Like, all while doing this, she's making jokes like, "Oh yeah, I made that angry Pomeranian-looking kid mad." Izuku's laughing like, "Oh yeah, I remember him. He used to go to my school when I was a child." She's like, "Wait, really?" He says, "Yeah, but that's the only reason why I didn't want our teacher to tell my name." She's like, "Oh, so you can surprise him." He says, "Yep." Then, like, this was a mixture between German, Russian, and English, like, all at once. And All Might got a little bit of it, and, like, Nezu understood the whole thing. He's like, "Huh, very interesting." And as I always see it, it's like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck did they just say?" But yeah. Yeah, so eventually, like, Bakugo gets taken out, and, like, all the rest of the people get taken out before they can even reach, like, Todoroki got stuck on the second floor because, like, knockout gas or whatever. And pretty much Izuku comes out dragging, like, one person on his shoulders and, like, dragging 2 people by the collars. The Cole comes out carrying Bakugo bridal style. Everyone's kind of laughing, like, a few people are taking pictures. And, Bakugo wakes up, like, he's like, "Put me down." She just drops him on his ass, and, he's like, "Ah." And, like, he says, like, "Who the hell are you guys? We're trained heroes, and you just took us all down." And then, Izuku takes off his mask, and he says, "Hey, Ka-chan." Bakugo kind of, do that surprised Pikachu face, like, "Huh?" Izuku just kind of looks at him like, "What's wrong? What's wrong, Ka-chan? Something surprising?" It's kind of like Bakugo, like, EXE has stopped working. Kirishima says, "Yeah, I'll just take him off. Yeah, you guys just get comfortable." And he says, yeah, okay." Aizawa says, "Okay, everyone. That was a Heroes vs. Villains test, but with a host quite different, though. These will be your new classmates, Izuku Midoriya and Nicole Blank. Please treat these 2 as as you would any other classmate. And they say, "Yep, hi sensei." And like everyone kind of starts talking to him, like, "Wow, you guys are so good. Like, how'd you get so skilled or whatever?" And like, but yeah. So like they set up like eventually like they go to the dorms, set them up. Cause like this kind of high school or whatever, like university or whatever, I don't know. But Izuku like yes, it's pretty much very blank. Both of the things like very bland. Cause yeah, just with their uniforms like hanging up or what, like on the wall, whatever. But like they both have a picture of a frame thing with like them with their 2 squad members. But yeah, so I'm gonna end it off here. Hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, that's good. That's cool. But yeah, so see ya.